FixWeirRoadToRooter.com. Once again, we are hitting the bottom of another Bitcoin pullback. You know how I know that? Right here. CNBC, Bitcoin is in a bubble, and here's how it's going to crash. Once again, CNBC has called the death of Bitcoin, and once again, they will be proven wrong, but they are very good at calling the bottom of each pullback. So that's an exciting thing. I'll get to this in a second. But if you look at the charts for Bitcoin, it's still looking really good. The latest Bitcoin pullback, the Bitcoin pullbacks come back about 30% each time historically. If you look at it like right here, and let's go the last 5 years. Let's go the last 4 years. Let's go 3 years. And you look at the chart, you see that 30% pullbacks happen every once in a while. We're right at that one again. And Bitcoin almost hit 5,000, so a pullback should be around 3,500. Right now, it's about 39.25. Could it pull back some more? Yes. Will it? I don't know. A lot of people know about the 30% pullback rule. And remember, the big money really wants to get in. And then the next stop is 6,800 according to Cliff's data. So would I be a buyer now? Sure, why not? Buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. 6,800 probably by the end of the year is what Cliff's saying. I had 10,000 by the end of the year as my prediction in last December. Can it happen? Absolutely. Look at how much it's gone up so far. I think it's been like 2 years. You look at just back in January of this year, it was 825, and it's gone up, 5 times. Can it go up 5 times from here? Absolutely, especially with the unbacked fiat money that Jamie Dimon loves so much struggling. But let's look at this. These always crack me up, the death of Bitcoin news from CNBC. Bitcoin is in a bubble, and here's how it's going to crash. Bitcoin is in a bubble, make no mistake. Now, this guy has been saying this for 7 years, so the mistake has been made every year. Bitcoin fails, or at least suspect, as a currency in several ways: a storehouse of value, a unit of account, and a medium of exchange. When excessive optimism far outweighs normal, rational expectation, crashes occur. And this will be the case with Bitcoin. This is not the first time that he has said this. CNBC says this every time Bitcoin starts to fall. Every single time. And every time they've been wrong. Can Bitcoin be a transformational technology-based currency and be in a bubble at the same time? Yeah. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon created a bit of a stir in the market for Bitcoin on Tuesday by claiming the cryptocurrency is a fraud and is in a valuation bubble that will burst. He said he'd fire any employee in his trading division who speculates in that currency market. Any employee in his trading division that speculated in Bitcoin would be the richest trader of all JP Morgan's traders. Jamie Dimon is either lying or is an idiot, or he's both. He said this many times, that Bitcoin is not a currency. He loves blockchain, but he hates Bitcoin because Bitcoin can destroy his evil, criminal, unbacked fiat money system. That's why he hates it. Critics say Dimon is just protecting his entrenched financial market turf, while others, like myself, voice their agreement with his core premise. Now, I suspect that these were planned moves to drive the Bitcoin price down, to slow down the rise. So CNBC works with Jamie Dimon, works with the Chinese regulators to slow down the Bitcoin rise. There's so much to unpack when it comes to discussing transformational or disruptive technologies that have become highly speculative, that it's hard to compress it into a mere 750 words or so, but here it goes. Most disruptive developments in technology and finance eventually inflate into speculative bubbles as investors and traders assume that the intrinsic value of these new vehicles will expand forever. Absolutely. That's what happened to the dot-com days. But after it pops, you have the real true value coming through. And now everybody who said, oh, the dot-com bubble was over in 2000, those companies lead everything now. All those old technologies, old companies, everybody has to be on the internet. It's the Amazons and the Facebooks and the Apple computers that are leading the world now. So it's same thing will happen in Bitcoin. All these crap coins will go away, crap companies will go away, but you'll get your Amazons, your Facebooks, and your Apple computers. The tulip mania in Holland in the 1630s, to which Diamond alluded, notwithstanding, history is replete with examples how transformational technologies enter a highly speculative phase, leading to the creation of great riches for early investors, but great risks for those who arrive late to the party. Again, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Cisco. Great fortunes were made, and they called it a bubble in 2000, and even further fortunes were made after that. The big money came after that. Here one looks back to history to identify the various and sundry bubbles that brought both great risks and rewards to investors and suckers alike. The exploration of the New World led to the catastrophic South Sea Bubble in Great Britain in the 18th century, along with the Mississippi Scheme in France at roughly the same time. Absolutely, but why did that happen? Unbacked fiat money. They were using certificates as money and trading those and using them as money. Exactly what's going on today with Jamie Dimon and Ron and Santa's CNBC's monetary system. These are unbacked certificates of fiat money that are being played off as real money, and they are printing them to the moon. That's why the South Sea Bubble imploded. That's why the Mississippi Land Grant Scheme imploded. It's all got to do with when you put people in charge of money, they're going to print it till it goes out of style. You can't do that with Bitcoin. 21 million coins is all that will ever be invented. Isaac Newton lost a fortune in the former, while the French government nearly collapsed in the latter. Of more domestic vintage, turnpike and canal bonds were the subject of great speculation in early American history. So were the railroad bonds, electricity stocks, auto companies, radio firms, electronics industry, color TVs. But all these things he's talking about, yes, they go through speculative, but then the good stuff lasts and takes over the world. And that's what has been seen in all this stuff. Japanese kilometers, computers, biotech. He's naming the most valuable industries that we have right now, and he's comparing that to what? That's the question. They go through speculative bubbles, they pull back, and then they take a moonshot and be our most important industries and assets. That's what's going on with Bitcoin. So too will be the case with Bitcoin. The price of a single Bitcoin has gone up parabolically and at a faster pace than any other speculative vehicle in market history, as investors' enthusiasm for the new medium has reached a fevered pitch. So it's gone up more than anything in market history. Jamie Dimon says, "I'll fire anybody who ever invested in that." So he missed the largest increase in value of any asset in modern history, in market history. However, its adoption as a global currency is suspect. What is suspect is how long the current unbacked fiat system is going to last. Partly for regulatory reasons and partly because creating a world currency from scratch, especially given the mandatory limitations on Bitcoin creation, is no mean feat. There have been only 3 reserve currencies in the history of the Western world: the British pound, the French franc, and the US dollar. I would say gold would be a reserve currency. It still is a reserve currency. Today, the dollar accounts for roughly 2/3 of all financial economic transactions globally. The daily value of foreign exchange trading tops $5 trillion alone. Imagine $5 trillion of daily trading in Bitcoin. That'd be nice. While Bitcoin does a mere fraction of that, he's just arguing the case that Bitcoin needs to be valued a lot higher. As yet, Bitcoin also fails as a currency in several ways. Money is defined by 3 characteristics: a store of value, a unit of account, and a medium of exchange. It's hard to determine if Bitcoin is a store of value. First of all, the value's gone up massively. He just said that. Daily volatility tops 5% to 10%, while its value has skyrocketed. That is pretty much better than a store of value, if you ask me. If it crashes, it would fail to meet criteria number 1. So will every single currency in the world, including gold and silver. If they crash to 0, they're going to fail to meet criteria number 1. I don't get what he's trying to say here. Is it a unit of account? It is a unit of account, but to whom? It may be a medium of exchange, but for now, it's only very few users. So more people can get on board anytime they want. I can use my BitPay credit card to buy anything in cryptocurrencies. with a little conversion. Convertibility is suspect in some nations where Bitcoin exchanges have been banned, creating some confusion as to how the currency can be used. Complicating all this is the use of cryptocurrencies on the dark web. Ooh, the dark web. For a wide variety of illicit activities, from money laundering to drug dealing to prostitution, among others. I choked on myself. The banking system, the criminal bankers are the #1 facilitator of illicit activities, from money laundering to drug dealing to prostitution, bar none. Bitcoin has nothing on the current unbacked fiat system run by the banking cabal. Just look at HSBC, JP Morgan. You can run down the list. Where do you think people launder money? Right through the banking system on the criminal level. Unbelievable. Sorry, I'm getting riled up. Additional issues involve sovereign nations and their desire to maintain control of their respective currencies. Absolutely. Who wants the government taking control of your everything, your life savings? They're devaluing our money, our savings, our work that we have saved. Our government is destroying it by printing more and more money to do more and more of their dirty deeds and their projects, and to finish their budget balancing by printing more money. That's not balancing a budget. All right. I've studied bubbles. Okay, Ron and Santa. I've studied bubbles, written extensively about them, and have covered no shortage of speculative bubbles in my 33-year career. Bitcoin is a bubble, make no mistake. The episode for some will end badly, while others reap the rewards of getting in on the action early and, more importantly, getting out before the bust. But as in the case of many prior breakthrough technologies, the transformation will indeed be disruptive and extremely important, even if the first mover fails to survive. The two, as history has shown, are not at all mutually exclusive. I think this is criminal deflection of what is actually going on. What's actually going on is there's a whole ecosystem building right here on blockchain technology using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It is building. Some will fall off. Some are crap. Some are good. It is building. It is building. It is building. And the reason it is building, the #1 reason, is that over here you have a system of corruption and decay that CNBC loves so much and Jamie Dimon loves so much that is crashing in on itself. People are looking to get out of this criminal system into the blockchain trust machine system that's being built. If you don't want to get in on Apple Computer on day one and Steve Jobs' garage, that's up to you. But I do. That's where I want to be. I want to be in the very beginnings of something that's building and something that's good. We are right now in Steve Jobs' garage with Wozniak inventing the first Apple computer. That's where I want to be investing. And that's going to grow and grow and grow. This guy has no clue what he's talking about. We're not in a bubble. Anyway, we're reaching the bottom. 30% pullback is 3,500. Will it go back down there? Maybe, but do you really want to risk it? Because the next move up is to about 6,800, and then it'll fall back another 30% again. And then it will go back up, and that's the crocodile teeth that Cliff High's been talking about. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. Tune into roadtoroota.com for more info, and like this video and send a thumbs up to me and send it around to your friends. We'll talk to you later.